at midnight tea a couple days ago. Midnight tea on the Wanpara. Lungpa said a couple of things which caused my eyes to widen, caused my faith in him to go up a little bit higher, even, than it already is. One was that somebody asked about the story I told in my talk I gave the other day about Patrol Rinpoche, and this talking about this man who was just kind of fumbling along, not really practicing, not really using his time very well, and then Albert asked a question about that, but then Lungpa saying that, well, more and more, the more time goes on, the more uncertain these things are. You might have somebody who's not really practicing, fumbling along, but then they hear the right teaching, or there's a shift that can take place. Nothing is fixed. The idea that nothing is fixed is always uncertain. That somebody who might be really not getting it, then they might get it, and then people change, with the point being that people can change. Or you might have somebody who's like a star meditator, and suddenly they just go off, and they fall away from the practice. So nothing is certain. So it's like, and that matched this teaching I had read of Ajahn Chah about how for the Sotapanna, everything is uncertain. For the once returner, everything's really uncertain. For the non-returner, everything's really, really uncertain. And for the Arhat, everything's completely uncertain. And it's I really like that teaching. And the other one was there was a question asked at midnight tea about hours, counting your hours of meditation, which is what I did in Bodhgaya. It was a period of time counting hours of meditation, but like, is it helpful? Or did Lungpa have any suggestions about like a bare minimum hours of meditation per day? And just that, and Lungpa said something which in Thai I would say was tuk jai for me, which touched the heart, or which really resonated, which is that if you meditate a lot in a formal sitting meditation, normal walking meditation, it's not necessarily the case that wholesome dhammas are going to increase and unwholesome dhammas are going to decrease. So it's just an external posture. So it's not necessarily the case that if you do some sort of heroic meditate 10 hours a day, I'm going to do 10 hours a day of formal sitting meditation or formal walking meditation. That's not necessarily the case that's going to be good for the practice. So it's more like an art, like one has to find all sorts of skillful means and find a balance. And that also matches this teaching of Lumpur Cha that somebody asked, how do you teach people, Lumpur? And he said, well, it's like people are walking down a path, they veer too far left, and I say, go right, go right. They veer too far right, and I say, go left, go left. And it's just as simple as that. So, and then Lumpur told the story that I really like, and I think it's in the words of my perfect teacher, which is a written treatise by Patrol Rinpoche, and it's the zealous young monk wanting to practice correctly, and he decides, okay, I'm gonna do the real practice now. So he does tons and tons of bowing, prostrations. He just devotes himself completely to that, and his teacher comes and walks by and says, oh, bowing is good, but Dhamma practice is better. And then he says, what does he mean? And so he says, well, he must mean like, mantras, chanting mantras. So then he's really diligent with his chanting, one-pointedly chanting mantras, and eventually the teacher comes by and says, oh, mantras are good, but Dhamma practice is really better. And then he's like, okay, well, maybe sitting meditation, I'll devote myself one-pointedly to sitting meditation. So sitting, constantly sitting all the time, meditating, putting a lot of effort into his meditation, and the teacher comes by, of course, and, oh, sitting meditation's good, but Dhamma practice is really better. And so what is it? What is Dhamma practice? How come I've been so diligent with all these different practices? And he just says, just give up this life, renounce this life. that's Dhamma practice, and that's what it comes down to. So that's something to keep in mind. And when we say renounce this life, my thought is it's like renounce worldliness, renounce anything that brings any type of suffering into the heart, and renouncing the craving that leads to renewed existence. These are all these teachings converge on that point. So I'll leave that for reflection for this morning.